All right, welcome back to Mad Matty's and First and Mad right here from Mad Matty's Casino here in Las Vegas, 8100 West Sahara. Again, I'm Brad Michaels. I'm here with Jay Vegas and Floody. Hey guys, how's it going?
I like the Jay Vegas. I do it that, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we switched it up a little bit this week.
Yeah, change it up a little bit.
So
Why
we got an interesting game going on tonight. Baltimore is still ahead 14-10. That game is in the second
I
quarter.
gotta correct you, brother. I think it's 21-10.
Did they score? Okay, it hasn't
is,
updated
yes,
on
it is.
NFL.com yet, so I haven't seen it on the tube
Yep.
yet. All right. Well, guys, we've got a lot of things to talk about. We've been talking about stuff all year long, and I think one of the things that's been key to me is, and this has been with my team, they haven't beat anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. You got a lot of teams out there. Hey, look, you all start out the season, you're 0-0.
Mhm.
All right. We don't make up the schedules. The NFL does that based on your record from the previous season. I want to put to rest all that talk of not playing good teams or bad teams. Okay. The Browns, they went on the road to Baltimore. They beat them. That was the top two defenses in the league. And in the early games last Sunday, that was the highest scoring game in the early game.
Mhm.
Okay. The
Yeah,
top two
yeah, I know,
defenses
right?
had a
Yeah.
shootout.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And everybody was saying it was going to be a defensive struggle. Then you had the Texans. They go into Cincinnati and they beat the Bengals
Mm-hmm.
in Cincinnati.
And,
So, but this is the NFL. Teams all have good players. Now, some of them lack what I call a loaded roster.
Oh, absolutely.
Not every team
Absolutely.
is Kansas City. Not every team is San Francisco or the Eagles, which are loaded from top to bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, but then you have to deal with injuries. Then you got to deal with bad management, bad coaching, as the case of the Raiders and another team we won't mention right now. Just kidding.
Wow,
He knew I was gonna
man.
get that
Bad
big in.
one all over.
Yeah, no.
Actually, 8 times. He did with 2 of the
And then,
Giants.
and then you got to look at what happens with teams like the Giants. Okay,
Yes.
those are the injury issues and a lack of talent. And you got to
Mhm.
think about it. In the day of what we have now with salary cap, teams like the Chiefs, the Eagles, even the 49ers, they got lucky because they've got a lot of those really good guys from top to bottom on both sides of the ball. A lot of them are still on their rookie contracts.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're playing lights out. And when it comes time to pay those guys, there is no way with salary cap you're going to be able to keep all of those guys. I don't care how much you restructure their contracts, it's not going to happen. So, with that said, and take a look at San Francisco. You had the injury problems with Deebo Samuel, McCaffrey. You lost.
Trent Williams was out. I mean, the injuries have gone on and on with
Right.
those guys, but you've got a young quarterback on a rookie contract, and especially that late round. He's barely making anything.
And he was Mr. Insignificant.
Yeah.
So, but he came out there and he put away his detractors last week. They go on the road to Jacksonville. Everybody thought, well, this is Jacksonville. They're a hot team. They're playing really good right now. Jacksonville is going to beat them, and they laid a pasting on them.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of people were counting out Purdy because they wanted to move on. Oh, Purdy doesn't have it. You got to remember, he's pretty much a rookie quarterback. He didn't start at the beginning of the season. So you got to give him some time. He's got to make those mistakes and learn from those mistakes.
Sure.
And hopefully he gets there. And it seems like he is. He's got a good head on his shoulders. I think that's what impresses me most about Brock Purdy, as he does learn from his mistakes.
Sure. Well, and then think about it on Monday night. The Bills, they shot themselves in the foot.
Oh, yeah.
They did that week 1 with the punt return to lose to the Jets. And then they got 12 men on the field when Denver misses the winning field goal and they get 5 extra yards and boom, he kicks it.
It's the NFL, guys.
Yeah.
And anything can happen any given week. And I'll admit with the Jags deal, San Fran could do whatever they wanted. I was based upon the West Coast team going to the East Coast.
Mhm.
And I turned around and I took a look at a couple of, and that one I was far-fetched. And I'll be the first one to admit I was wrong.
No.
But there were a couple of other games in there that, we play around, we take a look, and we see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what always happens. It is the NFL, and any team can beat any other team on any given week.
Yeah,
We've all
absolutely.
talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
And if you think about it, I want to talk now about the quality of these players, because every single one of these teams in the National Football League is good.
Oh, yeah.
These
absolutely.
players are good. So let's crunch the numbers. Hey, Roman, can you throw up that chart that I put together? So if you look at Division One, just the FBS, the Football Bowl Series, there are 15,167 athletes. This is football. Okay. If you add in Division One FCS, you got another 13,028. That gives you a total of 28,195 players total in Division One. If you add in Division Two, you got 47,084. We do know some players make it to the NFL out of Division Two, but there's only 1,696 players that make a 53-man roster. Now, if you add in, was it 7 on the practice squad? You got 60 players make a team in the NFL, bringing that total to 1,920. 1,920 players make it in the NFL on any given season, and we're not going to account for injuries like Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, he's in there, but so there's going to be some other players added in there. But let's take a look at that percentage. That is only 7% of Division One players making an NFL roster. That's how good these guys are from top to bottom in the league.
Best of the best of the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's what it is. These guys are gamers, they're players. And I mean, the skip and the jump from high school to college is incredible. College to the pros is astronomical.
Yeah, astronomical.
Well, they always say, and you hear this, you guys have heard this also. So you plan in high school. High school has its speed. You go to college, it's a totally different speed.
Unbelievable.
Then you get to the NFL, and it's ungodly the speed.
I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
I really can't. You know, I was fortunate enough to go from the high school to the college ranks, but I was like blown away. Can't imagine what it is from college to pros.
Yeah, leap.
It's the
and I think that's one of the things that
Absolutely.
you see a lot of times. You see like a player like Brock Purdy. Okay. I think the NFL game, believe it or not, and he's doing great, right? But I think the NFL game is still catching up to him. Or he's still catching up
to the game. Yeah.
Yes.
Because everything from the snap, everything is so fast.
Yeah.
And then when you throw in all the motions and all the other stuff that's going on,
Processing the information. What is the average time to throw the ball, especially for a quarterback? Was it 2.3? Yeah, something like that. 2.3 seconds.
2.3.
And somebody like Bajent, who plays for the Bears, who I thought has done really well coming from a Division II school.
Absolutely.
Which you know is not as fast as that Division One.
Nope.
That kid has been amazing. I know a lot of people like to give the Bears a lot of grief, but I think that kid has done really well for where he's come from.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's won 2 games now with the Bears.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then you look at,
I don't know if he gets one this week.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
but you look at a kid like that, and then you have to wonder, the Bears have a decision to make probably in the offseason. I don't think Bajent is their long-term answer. No. I think he's worthy of a roster spot, whether it's with the Bears or a backup somewhere else, obviously, but he's a rookie right now, so he's going to be with the Bears for a while. What is their thinking at this point, you think, as it pertains to Justin Fields?
Justin Fields, I think you have to move on from Justin Fields. I mean, he's a great athlete, but he falls in that category of Ohio State quarterbacks that fall short. They're very athletic.
Not every Ohio State quarterback is a C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud's finally setting a precedence where you can sit in the pocket and be a pocket QB. It's really unheard of when you think of Ohio State football because they're usually always mobile athletes and that they love to use their legs. I just don't see it from Justin Fields as far as being a pocket passer.
Did you see that one play? They've played it over and over again, the touchdown that Stroud scored, and the Minnesota coach, O'Donnell, he just says, he's telling him on the headset, he's like, hey, if you see an opening, if you see it, just go for it.
Yeah.
And, of course, he ran around in the backfield, did circles, and then sprints to the end zone and hit the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, he can move if he needs to, but you rarely ever see him run. He only runs when it's the last resort.
Well, and that sometimes can make a good quarterback.
Absolutely.
You see Tom Brady run
in slow motion all the time.
And I don't think, I remember, watching guys like Randall Cunningham and John Elway and those guys that ran. But even then, the NFL was like, no. We want our quarterbacks to stand in the pocket. We want you to have a pocket presence. We want you to be a pocket passer. And now you're seeing the running quarterbacks come around a lot more, like the Michael Vicks and all those.
Well, quick question then. Randall Cunningham was late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
Elway was
early 80s.
Early 80s,
Last of 83.
but through the 90s.
99.
99.
99.
Was it 99?
98,
99.
yeah.
Johnny the pocket passer. successor, Mr. Brady, and went on to roll.
Yep.
And kind of gave some of these guys like Joe Burrow and them, a little bit of.
And Peyton Manning, he was a pocket.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning was awesome, man. I give the guy credit where credit's due. Sometimes like we're watching this game. Yeah, we're watching this game tonight, and you got a pocket passer in Joe Burrow,
right,
and you got a running quarterback
Lamar
over there in Jackson, who's utilizing and reading the defense the best to their ability to make their game work.
Well, to give Lamar Jackson credit, he is a running quarterback, as we've talked about.
And he's true.
But yes, exactly. He has learned this year. If you look at his stats, he has not ran as much this year as he does. This is, I believe, the lowest rushing yards.
Correct.
He does not.
Back there
he looks to make the pass first. And the person I like to look at is Russell Wilson. When Russell Wilson was heyday, because Russell Wilson could run the ball too.
Yeah. But
he would run to buy time rather than run to get yards. And so that's where I think a lot of the younger guys, the running quarterbacks, have learned, like, I cannot be that, because they look at Cam Newton, who was a very big time running quarterback.
Absolutely.
And that was a very short lived career for
he
a
did
great
not last
player.
for long. And I think that's the biggest problem. When you talk about a running quarterback, we all know Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. He loves to run the football, and he's big enough to run the football, but
it's going to catch up.
It's going to catch up.
It already has.
Yeah.
He leads the league in interceptions, and he leads the league in turnovers. It's already caught him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got a cannon for an arm. The guy is a good quarterback and everything else. You just got to be able to read the defense.
You got to. I mean, you have
guys like Joe Montana, and I keep going back to Brady and Peyton Manning.
Right.
They read the defense. And what are you going to give me?
And I'm going to take it.
And then I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So I know I look and I read the spread that's sitting out there, and they see it. They got to cover 2 or whatever they're calling these different defenses and everything else. But I know I got a slot guy with a one-on-one that I know he can beat because it's a linebacker
covering. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Bing, bang,
give me that 4-yard pass that goes for 40.
Absolutely churn around.
Give me that all day
You
long.
got it absolutely right.
Well, in this conversation, where do you throw a guy like Mahomes? Because I don't see Mahomes really looking to run unless he sees he's got open space.
He reminds me of Russell Wilson in his heyday, where he would run to buy time.
I will agree. I will agree on that. And he's got a real good view of the defense.
Absolutely.
He's been around the game a long time. He's been around professionals around a long time, because his dad was with, I think, with the Toronto
Expos. He was with the Expos. He was with the Expos for all the he traveled around.
But he traveled. He knows that locker room. He knows how to read a defense a little bit better, and he buys time with his legs. And if he sees something that comes available, he's only really got one weapon right now.
Yeah, that's
Travis Kelce.
Yes, absolutely.
The one thing that
is there.
Oh my God! The one thing that impresses me with Mahomes is the way he's able to throw the ball from different angles.
Well, he's got great peripheral vision. I mean, he can see a guy out of the corner of his eye, and just I haven't seen him quite flip it behind his back like Larry Bird.
Yeah.
But that's coming, man.
I'm sure it's going to come.
I'm sure he's practicing.
It's amazing.
Defenses we're going to zone in on him, and you got this big guy that's like 6'4", 275 pounds, arms up in the air, and he just goes right around him. And he's something. He's a little special.
Yeah, he is. He is special.
And I've never seen a guy that, I mean, he can throw it underhanded. He can flip it without even looking.
The only person was Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers, of course, didn't have the wheels that Matt Patrick. The arm angle. Favre, yes, absolutely. Favre can do that as well. Favre did that as well. But yeah,
I'll never forget that Monday night game that Favre had after his father passed away.
Oh, that was an amazing game.
And he was so distraught. Everybody's like, well, maybe he might not even play tonight. And he went out on that Monday Night Football game and probably had the best game of his career.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
and it was incredible. It was incredible to watch. It was fun.
Yeah. That was a fun game to watch. That was a good one to watch. And
it was.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Thanks, pal.
Aging the two of us right here, I'm telling you, because I'm not too far behind this guy.
Exactly.
I'll be 59 in March. So
you don't want to join the 60 club, let me tell you.
It creeps close. It gets faster the older you get, right? I didn't want to believe it, but it's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It creeps so fast.
So let me open it up. I'm going to open up the floor to you guys. What do you guys see that stands out to you in anything else in the National Football League this year, whether it's the penalties not being called or being called. Is it fair back and forth between the
You wanna take
teams?
this?
Who's standing out in fantasy?
Yeah,
What's
you know
really
what I
striking
mean?
you guys?
We've talked about this quite a bit, and it's just too many flags all the time. And I call it the NFL, but it's the National Flag League.
Yeah.
It's killing me. And when you see it over and over and over, time and time again, I wonder if it's just the referees that want to get FaceTime. They want to be on national TV. You see all these pro players get paid big money. Well, I want to be the guy on TV that threw the flag, and it's holding on every play.
It's,
I mean,
and it shows because scoring is
sucks.
down.
Yes.
And the
Scoring is
NFL doesn't
so
want that.
No.
They want the
They
games
love their
to be
scoring.
exciting.
They
They
love
want a
their
lot
scoring.
of scoring, and then you got the officials that are like tamping it down. And it's like
What was
you
the NFL average right now is 43 points a game, which is the
between
lowest
the two.
between the two, which is the lowest since 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah, I mean,
And you
and
have
14
all
years,
of these
that's-
fantastic quarterbacks that are
Yeah.
playing with, the quality of wide receivers. You would
the
think
way the
they would
rules
be
have
lighting
changed,
up the scoreboard, and it opens
should
up
be.
the whole field with the rules.
Yeah, the
Um,
whole thing is opened up.
I want to touch on one other thing, and we can come back to the whole issue with the flags because I think that's important. I want to talk about Mark Davis.
Okay.
I heard some reports this week that it looks like Mr. Davis obviously regrets his decision not to permanently retain Rich Bisaccia. If Antonio, here's my question. If Antonio Pierce continues to build the momentum that he's building within that locker room and they keep winning games, if they're a playoff contender, say with 2 or 3 weeks to go in this season, whether they make the playoffs or not, especially if they make the playoffs, though, do you think Davis goes ahead and says, I'm not going to make this mistake twice?
I think you have to. I mean, the kid, listen, he was a great linebacker in the NFL. Very smart. Everybody talked about how intelligent he was. He motivates that team. That locker room is lively now.
Oh, they'll run through a brick wall
For that, you got to have coaches like that. It's the same thing with any sport at any time in age. When you are motivated by your coach, you're going to run through that brick wall. And I think that's what they got in here in Las Vegas.
Now let you hear the other side of the story. I think the Raiders, if they're lucky, they might win one more game in the next 6. Have you looked at their schedule?
They got a tough schedule.
Second of all, glad to see that they beat the 2 New York teams. Because I'm a Boston guy. Sorry over there, Roman, but that's how it is. But you were supposed to beat the 2 New York teams because they stink, just like my Patriots, and they beat them. When I look at the Raiders, I like Pierce. I have no problems with him. I don't have no problems with anything else. But there's some things that got to be changed there.
No,
there's some things that got to happen. And if they're lucky to win 1 out of the next 6 games, you heard it here first, folks. I'm going to tell you right now, their schedule is brutal. And I got a buddy of mine made a little bet with a big Raider fan at a bar and bet him that they won't win 1 of the next 4. I wanted in and give them a little double action here in Vegas. 1 over the next 6.
Wow.
And you know what? Let's watch. We got a couple more weeks to go, guys. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Raiders are in some trouble coming up.
Absolutely. I mean, with the Raiders, the way they're built, and I don't know your guys' philosophy on building. Brad, I believe we've talked about this. Building a team in the NFL, I believe you got to start with the beef. You got to start with the O-line, the defensive line. You got to win the line of scrimmage.
Big time.
You do that, you'll be in any game. I mean, you're going to have a chance. If they can just get back to, rather than worrying about the skill players right now, build that team from the inside out.
The skill players signed. They in for a little while.
Yeah.
Build that line.
Yeah,
both sides.
You got to build that line.
And then we'll see where those
I've always wanted to build the line first because the skill players, when they start to fall off, is very young. Running backs, their prime of their career is 24 years old.
Yeah. They don't have
Wide
a very long
receivers,
shelf life.
It's 28. It doesn't. It's the shelf life is not that long for these guys, for these skill players.
No, but you see linemen.
Linemen, yeah, exactly.
With a team,
absolutely.
Build it around that. I agree 100% with you, brother.
Well, I think what Mark Davis needs to do, I think obviously my preference would obviously be if he's not going to want to repeat that same mistake if Antonio Pierce is able to do something with this team. But I think you got to bring in somebody that Antonio Pierce can work with. That's going to be the guy that's the GM. Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to run the scouting department. Pierce would, obviously have some final say over the active roster, who's going to start, who's going to be a second stringer, that type of stuff. But you've got to have a GM, because I don't think in today's league, I just don't see coaches being able to wear both of those hats.
No. I think there's too much going on. The scouting, I mean, like we just talked about, how many players are playing in college football? To really get your hands on that, you gotta get somebody that's focused on that and that alone. Focus on your schemes, focus on where you want to build this team at. That way, when these scouts bring you those reports, you can build your team that way. Stop wearing multiple hats. Focus on the one job.
Right.
That's my biggest
Well,
thing.
and I think a lot of these coaches, Frank Reich, he gave up the play calling duties to his offensive coordinator. They had a bad game, and he takes it back. He's going to start calling the plays again. So you did a 1-game experiment.
Yeah.
And
probably not long
I
enough.
wouldn't give the guy 3.
Give him some time. Let's see
I
what
would give
happens.
him at least 3 games, and if you're not moving the ball and you're not moving things down the field, turn around and then take it back. But 1 game, you know what? They might have had a great defensive scheme on there.
Exactly.
They might know everything that's going on with
and
them.
you're still working with a rookie quarterback. I know it's Bryce Young, but he's not lighting up the scoreboards like CJ Stroud. That's really because CJ Stroud, we talk about those Ohio State quarterbacks all the time. And the only Ohio State quarterback before any of these guys that I can even name is Art Schlichter.
Well, the longest
I talk about gambling.
the
We're in
longest
Vegas.
Ohio State quarterback that had a long
I
career
bet
was
you
Tom
Roman to
Tupa,
have a
Tom
tequila
Tupa.
after this game.
and he had to do it as a punter.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
buy it, Roman.
So let's go back to the Raiders. Let's talk about their schedule, because this week for the Raiders is Dolphins week. And for the
Yes.
Dolphins, it's Raiders week. And
I will tell you this much. I just turned around and left the sports book, and it went from 10.5 to 13.5. What's that telling you?
Yeah, that's
I mean,
lot of
come
money
on,
going
this
on
is a
Miami.
Raider
That's a
team
lot
that's
of
supposed
money
to be
going on
making
Miami.
the playoffs, and a lot of money is rolling in
Wow.
on Miami. And you know what?
well, there was a guy
Sorry,
today.
Raider fans, but watch out you don't get blown out
exactly.
this week.
Well, there was a guy today was calling into one of the shows, and some Dolphin fan somewhere had predicted that the Dolphins would beat the Raiders 45-10. And this guy came on there and he's like, "You really think that the Dolphins defense is going to hold the Raiders to 10?" I'm like, yeah, because they've
I can
only
see
scored over 17 once this year.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much.
yeah.
And then look what the Dolphin offense does.
Yes.
They are the fastest team,
Yeah.
I think, in the NFL.
Oh, without a doubt.
Hey, you can beg to differ or whatnot, but
No, yeah.
as long as you got Tyreek Hill out there and
And a
couple
healthy
of-
Jalen Waddle.
correct. I mean, it's just so much better for Waddle than
Well,
if
and
you
River
double
Craycraft
team
is coming
Hill.
back this
If
week
you
too.
double team Hill, leaves Waddle 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you going to cover over there? And then forget about the running backs that the Dolphins got. Those guys are good and good catches out of the backfield and can run with the pill and roll up the.
Raheem Mostert is still averaging the greatest yards per carry in
and they're not
NFL
even
right now.
using Jeff
No.
Wilson Jr.,
No.
even despite the fact that Achan's
Nope.
been out.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know for sure if Achan's going to start this
Yeah,
week or even play.
play.
They're
Who was your friend? What did he predict? 45-10.
45-10. It could be worse
I
than that.
like it. I like it a lot.
I think
I'm
that's
telling you
I
right
think
now.
that's a pretty good
I watched
number.
That book number move up the hill
Yeah,
and
I
everything
just-
else. 45-10.
I don't see
When we
how
come to
the
pitch,
Raiders getting
I'll
the.
take that.
I just don't see. I don't see how the Raiders are able to overcome this Miami team.
Well,
No.
you got to look at that. So they got Miami this week in Miami. I'll be there, by the way. I'm taking the red eye tomorrow night.
Nice.
There you go.
And we're skipping Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No
Hey,
show next week.
No show next week.
Roman, just to let you know, 8100 West Sahara, Las Vegas, Nevada. We are doing turkey dinner. And I've been here. My man said, Frisco, he does it. And I might even be in here for a little turkey.
I'm going to try to make it back.
I always go to every bar that I've ever worked at or whatnot that I think has something decent going on. I always want to come in when they have that first turkey. It's almost breakfast.
Yeah.
I come rolling in around 10 or 11 a.m. when they get ready to start serving at noon and roll through till 8 o'clock at night. I'll tell you what, I try it just for the reason of, is the mashed potatoes hot? Is the stuffing good? Look at the size of me. Come on. Is the turkey hot? Is all the fixings there? I'll tell you one thing. Mad Matty's does it right. And I've been to a handful of
When I
other
saw the
places.
price, the price is incredible.
Yeah.
You know,
You can't beat the price. If you have nobody to spend Turkey Day with, come on down.
Come on, hang out
We'll
with us over here at
serve
Mad Matty's, everyone.
Absolutely.
Well,
And it's
I am gonna
it's good
try
home
to
cooking
get
food.
back because I'm flying down there, but we did an old show called Dolphin Radio, and I have a van. It's a Dolphin Radio van, and we're getting it out of there. Bo Campers was a sponsor of ours, and they're going to be remodeling the restaurant where we had the van.
Oh,
at.
okay.
So I've just decided to take this as an opportunity. I'm going to drive that van back here to Las Vegas, and I know it's going to take 3 days.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a trip.
and I got a rental car in Miami
Day and a half.
through Monday. So
Those are the,
unless I can leave early, I don't think I'm going to make it back until sometime Thursday night.
We'll
Unless
save
I'm
dinner
doing
for you.
There
15
you
hour,
go.
Yeah.
15 hour
Get in
days
here and
the
have
drive
dinner with the rest of the gang, and yeah, it's gonna be good. There you go.
Why not?
But yeah, I mean, fantasy wise, in this one, start every Miami Dolphin you have on your
Why
roster.
not? Yes,
I would
sir.
probably, I would stay away from a lot of Raiders. You know, so you're gonna play
including
your
the
superstars.
Miami defense. You think?
I would play the
against
Miami
this
defense.
Raiders
Absolutely.
offense?
Against
Yeah.
this Raiders offense, I think they're starting
You
to
got
come
a
to their
rookie
form.
quarterback,
Rookie
Aiden O'Connell.
quarterback in
25
there.
points, 14 of it could be
Yeah,
pick
it could be
sixes.
pick sixes.
And I hate to
Absolutely.
say that, but
Well, and this
sorry,
guy was
Raider
dissing
fans.
Jalen Ramsey
Truth
today too. He's
hurts.
like Jalen Ramsey doesn't want to play the
Jalen
Raiders.
Ramsey will play well against, so you're not going to play Devontae Adams. The only one I think you can really start if you had to is Josh Jacobs. Yeah, you have
I
to play.
agree
He
with
that.
just
I think
gets
you have
so
to.
much. He gets so much volume, even
Wait,
though it's a
is
tough
Jacobs
matchup.
in the parking lot across the street? No.
It should be a
kidding.
Raiders, but who knows?
Just kidding.
And that's another thing the Raiders need to do is they need to stop picking these kids out of college that are going to get arrested for driving,
Yeah, I mean, it's,
135, 50 miles an hour down the street.
Listen, I mean, that was the biggest thing why nobody wanted to build a team here in Vegas was for those reasons alone. Just because of 24 hours.
It is a very tempting town to
It
live
is.
in, not only for the gambling, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
But for the most
alcohol.
part, the Raiders have proved that they can do it. These players have
they've
said
done it. Yeah,
There's a couple bad apples, but for the
couple of
most
guys
part, the
falling
Raiders have
asleep in
definitely-
their car, or in the case of Henry
Yeah.
Ruggs the third.
Yeah, exactly.
Go there.
But for the most part, some of these guys have stayed out of trouble. I've seen them around town. They tend not to want to get involved, and they definitely try to stay out of trouble. So for the most part, they've done it right.
And we would love to have some of the Raiders players if they want to come in here on a Thursday night and say hello
Yeah,
and talk about their
Why
upcoming
not?
game. It'd be great.
They don't want to hear
Um,
me sometimes.
Like to welcome,
Why not?
actually, like to
You
welcome
guys-
Mark Davis to come on the show.
Exactly.
So, hey, Mark, if you're
Why
listening,
not? Mark,
come on down.
I'll introduce you to my hair.
now it doesn't get any easier for the Raiders, as you said. So let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
They get done in Miami. They got to come back home. They play the Chiefs. And
And
so
two-
far, go ahead.
2 losses. Keep going.
Well, so far, every single game that they've played in the new stadium here, they've been outnumbered by the opposing team's
absolutely.
fans, and especially when Kansas City's
Yeah,
fans.
yeah. I mean,
Who wouldn't want to come to Vegas
to watch
and
To
see
watch
your
their
team?
team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be from Miami and say, "Hey, man, let's go to Vegas for the weekend."
Mhm.
I mean, when you mentioned the word, those 5 letters, Vegas, did I spell it right? I'm all right.
Yeah, it's
People
spelled Vegas.
Want to come.
Oh, that was
And
good.
I
That
don't
was
care
good.
where you're from. I'm from the Northeast, and it's getting cold. It's getting lousy. And Miami is gorgeous right now. I think Miami is absolutely beautiful. October, November, and March and April. But when you attempt them to come to Vegas and your team is playing here, you want to be in Kansas City with the first snowstorm of the year, or you want to be in Vegas?
I'd rather be in Vegas
75
right here in the
degrees
desert,
or
yeah.
whatever. I'm still here in
Might be a little
t-shirt,
cold
shorts.
in the morning, but still,
Oh, it's beautiful.
And we just have the fire on here in the background for ambiance. And
yeah.
also,
yeah.
Stephanie should come around here sometime and start basting us any minute.
Yeah, it's
So-
a roasty one.
She's doing all right. She's a Browns fan. We love you, Steph. Never
Oh,
mind.
yep. Hey, shout out to the
So-
Browns.
The Raiders get a bye in week 13, and then it doesn't get any easier. Minnesota comes to town.
Well,
Yes.
I think Minnesota's playing much better with Dobbs.
They played inspired
yeah.
football. They're playing very inspired football with Kirk Cousins being out and Dobbs.
You know,
looks
Cousins not
very
coming
good.
back.
No, you know he's not coming
Dobbs
back.
doing the job.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And didn't you say a couple of weeks ago that guy's like a rocket scientist?
He is. He's an
Hey,
aerospace
he's reading
engineer.
the defense.
Aerospace
God
engineer.
bless him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
And then keep going.
All right,
brother.
so it doesn't get any easier, but this is another home game that they'll have is the Chargers.
That's
The
a
next
tough
week,
one.
so they got 3 straight home games.
These offenses they're playing they're lights out. They're
And
lights
then
out
they
on-
go
Yeah, I'm
to
with him.
Kansas
I'm
City.
with them. And then two Kansas
and
City.
that's who Kansas
I
City,
think
right?
the Chargers actually
Yeah.
come in and beat them. And Kansas City,
Kansas
you want to keep going because
And you're playing Kansas City on Christmas Day. It's going to be cold in Arrowhead.
Oh boy, yeah.
they'll probably be trying to get positioned for the first or second seed or whatever. in
yeah,
the
they'll be
AFC.
playing definitely for.
You know, right
for
now
home
they
field
hold
advantage.
the
Absolutely.
first seed. They want to hold serve. But look at the Raiders' schedule after that.
Well, it gets a little easier in the last 2 weeks, I think, because week 17, you got the Indianapolis Colts here in Vegas, and then, or no, I'm sorry, they're at the Colts.
At
the
the
Colts.
Colts.
And then week 18, they're back home against the
The
Broncos. But the
Broncos.
Broncos
Okay.
have shown some
So if
improvement.
they
Yeah.
do win one, it's the Colts.
It's the
game.
Colts game.
Maybe. That Bronco team
That's
is
gonna be a
playing
tough one.
whole
They're
lot,
playing a lot
Did they
different
just
now.
Pick out the
Tough one.
Bills this week.
Yeah, that's a tough game for them. And yeah, I can
Don't
see the
kid
Colts. The
yourself.
Colts could be the win they get. Broncos, I think that's gonna be a close matchup though. I think the
I
Broncos,
do.
especially being a division
And
game.
let's see who you're playing to see who's going to get a spot on the roster
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's-
and who else. Because by then, I don't think the Raiders are even close.
I don't.
sniffing
Yeah, I don't
at
think
a
they're right.
playoff spot.
No, I don't think there's. Again, we talked about the rosters. The Raiders have good players on both sides of the ball, like all teams do.
Mhm.
We talked about that, but they don't have. They're not loaded.
No.
You know, you got Max Crosby. He's your standout guy on the defense. He bothers me a little bit in this Miami game coming up because we all know Tua does not play well
No.
with pressure.
No, with pressure.
The Dolphins' offensive line, the Dolphins' offensive line still banged up.
Mhm.
Robert Hunt is week to week, so we know he's not playing this week. Isaiah Wynn, we lost him for the whole season. So
Yeah, there could be something. But if you just neutralize Crosby, that's the problem with the Raiders defense.
Excuse me.
Is there's nothing
Bless you.
else
Thank you.
on there to really put pressure on. So if you can find a way to neutralize Crosby,
I
you're going to be
agree.
just fine.
I think that's where you
Secondary
bring in a guy like
is a
Alec
menace.
Ingold and let him block from the fullback
Crosby's a
position.
menace, and he's tough to contain. But I think the Dolphins know that already. Going into this game, I think they'll try to
They
nick
have a
him,
package for him.
with a tight end or a running back, and let the big tackle just push him out
I
of his
could-
way.
I can see the Raiders going with a lot of 2 tight end formations. just that-
Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders. Just
The
to help
Raiders.
chip on. I'm sorry, the
The
Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'm sorry, the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I can see them running that just to chip him,
Yes.
and I can see the tight ends in this game having a big day.
Yes. I agree.
I'm interested to see if we end up, we could do something with Chase Claypool this week. But what I do like is that River Craycraft is coming back. He hasn't caught a lot of balls, but I'll tell you what, when he does get the ball thrown to him, he'll go get it.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Mike Gesicki in that regard. Gesicki would go up and grab the ball no matter where you threw it. Speaking of Gesicki, and I hate to bring this up, but do you think I watched Gesicki playing? He does not look like he's a happy camper
No, he does
in
not.
New
In
England.
New England, he does
Of
not.
course, I don't think anybody's a happy
No,
camper
nobody's
right
a
now in
happy
New
camper
England.
over there.
I just caught word today that possibly Mr. Belichick might step down.
Wow.
I told you he's not going to be.
I don't,
fired.
yeah, he wouldn't be fired. He would.
No,
he would go out with
out on
He's
his
gonna
own
go
terms.
on his terms.
I think they would
But
let
I
him get out
think
there.
that there's going to be a agreement in place between him and Kraft because I don't think Kraft's going to fire him. He's not
No.
going to disrespect him like
There's
that.
no firing going
Right.
on here.
I think they're
that
gonna
they'll
let him
make
walk
some
away
sort
from
of
the
an
team.
agreement where he can go to another team, and it's going to be set up in a way that Kraft's going to get some compensation.
I don't even know if Bill wants to go to.
I don't think so.
team. I don't.
I know
if he
Bill had
wants to-
talked about retiring. I think he was just kind of, he was playing it out and see how far he get if he can get the Shula's
Well, he
record.
once
Yeah.
said that he was not going to be a guy that was coaching into his 70s.
no, yeah,
No.
And
And if he's not there, he's close.
yeah.
And you know what? I mean,
He's got a heck of a run.
Is it because of money? Hell no.
No, he's well taken care of.
if I had his money, I'd burn mine and retire.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
You know,
There you go.
So I think there's this though. What is he right now from the all-time record for losses. Is he 6 more losses away from that record? I know he's close.
He's pretty close. Yeah, I know he's getting awfully close to that record.
I'm wondering, is he going to want to have that as part of his legacy also? Yeah, it's one thing to break Shula's record, but in so doing, you're also going to go down in history as the winningest coach and the losingest coach. I don't think he wants that for his legacy.
No. Either one.
No.
And I know that talk this week about him possibly retiring.
Right.
And whatnot. It depends on what the team does. They play hard for the guy, but you know what? You got no talent over there. Yeah. We talk about it every week. You got no talent. You got nothing going on. Maybe it's time that he just.
Well, we talked about the coaches that wear the 2 hats. It just never works.
It's just not.
It never works.
I think it used to work back in the older days.
Yeah, the older days.
The 60s,
nowadays,
70s, even the 80s.
There's too much talent out there to go through, and you just need to focus on one and let the executives handle all the us.
So that brings us up to, and if you want to cover some other fantasy this week, because we have 3 basically marquee games this week. I looked at the schedule. There wasn't a whole lot out there that really excited me. These games that are our marquee games, we had 2 on Sunday, and then we got the big one on Monday night. I think we're going to talk a lot about that one because that's a replay of last year. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because a lot of those marquee matches have a lot of big matchups as far as fantasy wise. Tonight I did like a lot of the Lamar Jackson because I wanted to see what he would do against the Cincinnati team,
especially coming after that tough home loss against the Cleveland Browns, which Cleveland. Devastating news that they will lose Deshaun Watson for the rest of the season. He's going to have surgery on that shoulder.
I love you, brother. How devastating is that?
Oh, I mean, it's not devastating for him. He's played 11 games and $90 million.
Absolutely.
So he's getting paid. I actually think the Brownies are a better team without him.
Now the problem with it is now you're going with the rookie. Okay. And listen, he's a local boy, so we love him. Of course, we wish him all the best.
Right.
But you're going against a Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And as a rookie, that's tough enough already because that's what Pittsburgh's done is won on their defense.
We know these 2 teams are going to come out. It's probably going to be an ugly game as far as 9-6, 12-9, as far as that goes or whatnot. But can the kid maybe get it done?
But do you think that maybe the Browns I'm thinking they've got to make a move possibly. And I know the trade deadline is gone. So you're going to have to maybe do some maneuvering in the background, get a team like New England to say, hey, you know what? Cut Mac Jones or get the Raiders, cut Garoppolo. And then the Browns can step in as long as they clear waivers, right? And sign one of those guys. I think it would be a better step up for him than the rookie quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's actually a pretty good idea.
Well, it's not a bad.
I've heard that rumble.
It's not a bad idea.
If the kid steps up this weekend and beats Pittsburgh. Excuse me. Sorry, Roman. But I had to get one of those.
We got to get those in every once in a while.
To get one.
She's usually yelling at us something about them.
So we already got a comment.
She's already on the comments.
By the way, for those of you that are watching, make sure you're watching us on the Mad Matty's page. Make sure to press like and subscribe to the page. I mean, obviously, if you're on the page watching this, you're probably subscribed. But if you haven't, subscribe to the page and spread the news out there because we talk about every team in the league.
And
we're in Vegas, so people are going to be out here.
She just texted in and said, watch out for the Pittsburgh Feelers. I mean, sorry, man. I'll give you any which way on that team.
Guys, leave comments too. Ask us questions, please.
Ask us questions. Yeah, that way down.
We'll fill it in. Even if you watch it later in the week, leave the comments in there, and we'll address those when we come back on the show the next week.
And we're also speaking of some technical difficulties because we're going to I had Bluetooth all set up on another phone that I had, so we're going to have a call-in number for everybody, and we had an issue with that tonight. Then I got Chris on camera, had him in the studio on camera live from Plantation, Florida, and we couldn't get his audio either.
That was a shame.
And he got off of the StreamYard. We love you, Chris.
Love you, buddy. Good
I'll
luck.
see you this weekend. We're going to have dinner at both campers. But he's going to be on. We're going to work everything out, and Chris is going to join us the week after Thanksgiving because we're not going to have the show next week. We're going to get Chris on that following week.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
But
great.
if you want to vote for him for NFL Fan of the
Yep.
Year, go to NFL.com, look up Fan of the Year. You'll see all of the teams and all of their nominees. And obviously, if you want to vote for your Fan of the Year, go for it.
But you can throw
is
Chris in there.
definitely- You can throw Chris in there because you can vote for anybody you want. You can vote as many times as you want.
Exactly.
If
Exactly.
you can figure
They
out a
might even
scraper
vote
that will
me
do it.
Fan of the Year for the Raiders.
Oh, that'll
Oh,
be something.
God.
He'll be the fan of the year wearing a Boston hat. You know,
I don't know if they're gonna do that one, but hey, you know, I seen weirder things happen.
It's the NFL.
It's the NFL.
it is. It is. Anything
Somebody will
can
throw a
happen.
flag on that one.
Somebody on the Jersey Shore. Woo! That bells.
Other
Don't throw
fantasy
it in.
stuff I was looking at. Listen, if you're gonna play, I know we're gonna get into some of the other car marquee matchups with Justin Fields coming back. I don't know how effective he is, and I like the matchup this week as far as if you wanted to play DJ Moore. But the biggest question, of course, is Justin Fields. But I think with the rest they've given him, I think DJ Moore is going to be just fine. I think you can play him. I would not, and also look at Tyson Chandler for the Minnesota Vikings. I think he can have a big week too. I think they're going to get him more involved.
When is I know the rumblings are that Justin Jefferson, he's going to be coming back.
He
at
should
some
be
point.
coming
He
back.
coming back this week.
I don't think it's this week. I
This
want to
is
say
next
next
week.
week. I want to say
week,
next
I
week.
think it is.
All right. So anybody else before we get into the three marquees here that you can think of?
Oh,
for fantasy?
one thing, fantasy wise, the one I looked at is listen. I'm sorry, I got to bring it. I just had my name in there and I forgot what I was going to talk about.
It's
How old
tough
are
to
you?
get old.
But yeah, I'm telling you, thanks, buddy.
You just hit
But
on the old.
if you were streaming quarterbacks this week and you needed somebody to start, my gamble of the week, and I think it's going to pay off, is going to be Jordan Love. I know he's really struggled. He has a good matchup. I think this is the week maybe he actually gives you a little bit of hope in fantasy. If you need a spot start this week, go with Green Bay quarterback Jordan
Keep
Love.
it close. I got him in a teaser.
Yeah, yep,
Wow.
there you go.
Brother.
I
There
think
you go.
I think he could have a good
I
week
took
this
him
week.
9 at home.
With what we were talking about earlier about the quality of the players from top to bottom in the National Football League, they're 7%. They're the elite, right?
Yes.
What do you like better when it comes to a fantasy league? Do you like the salary cap leagues?
I'm not a big fan of those ones. I like to have the fun. You know, you're talking about like the auction ones.
Well, I'm
yeah.
talking about anything where they come out and they say, "Oh, here's your cap.
No,
And
you're
this
talking
is what these players. This is what it's going to cost you
Yes.
to get this player." I like those
I
because
actually
it
like it.
makes you think
It does.
like a real NFL
does.
GM because you can't load your roster up with the Miami Dolphins offense because those guys are getting paid.
I know that's an absolute true, and I do that every week on Vegas Guys Locker Room. I break down. I do a Yahoo weekly fantasy where it gives me a $200 budget, and I try to budget the best team I can get. So,
Wow.
and yeah, so I do that every week. I do enjoy those; a lot of fun. So if you want to follow along that every Saturday on Vegas Guys Locker Room, guys.
And there you go. And that's a good show. I've listened to it. That when the one you sent me, the link, and I got to tune into that because he's a wealth of knowledge here when it comes to fantasy, and you've won a few.
Oh yeah,
leagues
yeah,
throughout the years.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I've lost a lot of money here in Las Vegas. I'm telling you, this is.
This year, the last 2 weeks, I know my big league, I've ran into the 70-point quarterbacks. I ran into Stroud when he had the big week, and then I ran into Dak Prescott last week, and I'm like, I'm getting beat by one guy.
One guy. That's your fantasy guy.
Oh
One
man,
guy.
I'm like, I'm getting beat by one guy. I'm like, Stroud decimated me that week.
Yeah.
Floody, anything else on your mind before we hit these marquee games and make some predictions?
Only thing is that I would like to wish my fellow hosts here and our buddy Roman back there, everybody a happy Thanksgiving, happy, safe, enjoy your families, everything else. If they're not around, then enjoy the people that are around you.
Exactly.
But
And if they're not around, give them a call.
Absolutely. Just give them a call. And listen, you're looking to meet new people, come down to Mad Matty's. There's a group of great people that come into this place.
Francisco's got a great, hey, brother.
There he is. There he is.
Great dinner plan here and everything else. The food will be
And
fabulous.
I'm hoping I can make it back in time. At least to come
telling
in for
you,
dinner
for
late
dinner,
at night.
absolutely.
Well, you know, we'll talk to Stephanie. She runs the bomb. She is. We'll get
Save me
you
a
a
meal.
plate. Just save you a plate. Is good food and hey,
Good food, good people, good
look,
times.
I
yes.
don't talk
Exactly.
about it. I eat it.
Exactly. Right
Oh,
there, buddy. All right.
myself here.
I'm getting ready. Ho, ho, ho. Hey, let me ask you guys a question real quick. What did Santa Claus like for Christmas? Nothing but a hoe and a hoe and a hoe.
There
Well,
we go.
I'm gonna go and give everybody a little bit of advice for Thanksgiving. Make sure you talk politics because that'll weed out how many Christmas presents you're gonna have to buy family and friends.
There you go. Exactly. You want to shorten that Christmas
Wow.
list? Bring that one up. Filters it all
Holy
out.
cannoli.
I had to throw that in there. I
Oh,
saw
no,
that
that was good.
somewhere
That was
today,
good.
and
That
I-
was
it's
great.
That
funny.
was very good. Yeah. So what do you get a thief? He already has everything. It doesn't matter whether he's a Republican or a Democrat. He's a thief.
He's already got it. All right, moving along to Sunday's key matchups. We've got two games that we believe are key matchups this week on Sunday. We're going to go to Pittsburgh at Cleveland. This has some playoff
It
implications.
does. It really does.
Bloody?
Well, is my Schittsburg fan back there? I don't know. I don't hear her anymore. So I
Might
like
have given up. Didn't know we were
I
going to talk
like
about
the
our team tonight.
Brownies. I like the
Ooh.
Brownies in a defensive struggle. And somehow, some way, the Brownies
there
end up.
she is.
Oh, holy
Wow.
cannoli.
We should,
Brownies
we
win
should
this
bring
one
her on the
13
show
to
and have
10.
her.
13 to 10. Wow.
Oh,
That's a
boy,
good
I'm
one.
in trouble.
I got to go the opposite. Then I liked Cleveland when I first heard about the matchup.
Okay.
The problem I have with it is I'm starting the rookie Robinson out of UCLA.
Yeah.
I just think with this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I think it's going to be too much for him to handle. I think he's going to be confused. I like Pittsburgh 17-7.
I like the Steelers in this game just because, again, it's that defense. They've been bailing their offense out all year
long.
And Mike Tomlin, he just figures out a way to win these games. And I think they're going to dial up something on that defense that's going to knock that rookie. He's not going to know which end is up.
Exactly. I think that's going to be a hard matchup for him, and to bring him in against the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a rough one. I wish him all the best because he is a Las Vegas
Who's
kid
the
from Bishop
Pittsburgh
Gorman.
Feelers. Schittsburg. Come on.
And I forgot, Angel, I forgot to tell you, I looked up my buddy. I thought he was your running backs coach because he was the running backs coach with San Diego before he went to Pittsburgh. He's actually, because he was a tight end in the National Football League and in college. Alfredo Roberts, he's actually your tight ends coach. I looked that up.
There
I
you
looked
go.
that up
See?
today. on the
Little
Pittsburgh.
inside scoops.
The inside
What's
scoop.
our next game?
Our next game.
No comment.
I'm
from
picking the
Schittsburg
Steelers
fans.
to win this game. You picking Cleveland?
Cleveland.
I got Cleveland winning this one 13-10. And a
I think it's going to be a close
struggle.
game like that. I'm going to say probably more like 17-13, but I'm going to go
All
with the
right,
Steelers.
there you go. Yeah.
All right. Now we got to go to, I can't believe we're actually going to talk about this. I'm not sure about Arizona.
No.
They don't impress me, but Houston. What is going on? D'Amico Ryans has got these guys balling.
Yeah, he's got him dialed in. CJ Stroud has proven that, an Ohio State quarterback can get it done.
Yep.
Finally.
It's it's amazing what he's done out there. Fantasy wise, I'd probably play everybody you can get. I think Nico Collins comes back. Noah Brown's a little hurt. Tank Dell should have a great game. I'm curious to see what happens with Devin Singletary because he had a magnificent game. He had career highs all last week. Give me some more of that guy. I would put him in my lineup.
Yeah, let's see if he can duplicate the success.
Yeah.
And we got a score
Former
update here. It's
Patriot.
27-13
Oh,
Ravens.
Oh, look it up, sir.
Yeah,
Look it
that's
up.
right. I forgot
He
about
went from the Patriots over to Buffalo. Buffalo. I actually am with you, though. I like Houston in a really good kind of old-fashioned, good shootout kind of game.
Well, they're at home. I just don't think Arizona's defense, their offense isn't all that good either. I mean,
You got to get
got
Kyler Murray
Murray back.
Kyler Murray back.
but you got to ease him in a little bit. Is he still going to favor that knee?
He had a
little
good
bit?
game
He had a
last
good
week.
game
I thought he had a good game last week. I think he comes back. He's still getting his timing down with a lot of his receivers there. And that's been hard to start some of these guys in fantasy. You look at the one pass that Hollywood Brown should have had in the end zone. It was a touchdown just off his fingertips. I think they start to get that timing back. So I think Murray has a great game in this one. You can definitely play him in fantasy. I think Marquise Brown, those guys are old college teammates. You can definitely play him because while he gets his timing down with the other guys, I think he's really going to key on Marquise Brown.
Score, please.
On this one, I'm going to take
Tough one.
Houston. I'm going to take Houston 28-24.
Wow. I'm going to go Houston, but I don't think Arizona is going to score that much. For some reason, I just feel like D'Amico Ryans, being a defensive player, he's a defensive coach. He's got Houston really playing good. I like Houston in this game, closer to maybe 24-13.
Okay.
And I'm going to go a little bit higher, and I'll say Houston 31-21.
All right, there you have it. And now on to Monday Night Football, and this is the rematch. Everybody circled on their calendars at the beginning of the year, and Philadelphia goes into Arrowhead Stadium on Monday night. Jesse, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, listen, I like what Philly's doing. I think
Jay Vegas.
Yeah. We've talked about this. Philadelphia stacked top to bottom. They're having a great year. I think Jalen Hurts, he's playing a different style than he did last year. I think he's more comparable as far as an NFL quarterback than he has been in fantasy as far as last year, numbers-wise. I think he's going to have a great game this week. I say that because the defense of Philadelphia is really starting to pick it up. The pass rush is starting to come around a little bit. I think that's going to cause problems for Mahomes and that offense. Now, listen,
when you consider Mahomes and Kelsey, that's it. Pacheco, okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
But Kansas City's offense is just, they've been a little out of sync this year, in my opinion. I mean, they only scored 9 points against Denver for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So you can get to them. Their defense, again, this is another team. Their defense is playing a lot better this year than it has in years past, despite the fact that they're winning championships and hosting the AFC Championship game, 5 straight years. So, but I still think that Philadelphia defense is just going to rock Mahomes and company.
If I'm wrong, is both teams coming off the bye?
Yes.
No.
Oh, yeah. I thought they were.
I think Kansas City just.
I thought they
I
both
believe
were
Kansas
I believe
City
they're
was
both
on a
coming off
bye.
the bye, right?
Yeah,
played
I
the
believe they're
Dolphins
both.
last. Okay,
Yeah.
I might be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Both the Dolphins and the Chiefs had that bye after the Germany
Yeah,
game.
and the Eagles had the bye week last week.
Okay,
This
Yeah.
matchup should be really interesting. Look at Rashee Rice at wide receiver. I think that kid makes a breakthrough. That rookie is going to have a heck of a game, I think.
did you give a score?
I haven't given a score yet. I'm still thinking.
Oh, wow.
Give us your
Something
analysis
burning, it's
there,
not just
Floody.
the fire.
I personally think this game here, Philadelphia felt like they should have won last year.
Yeah.
They think they have a better team this year. It's a very difficult place if they're both coming off the bye. Difficult place to play in Kansas City, but I think Philadelphia pulls the upset at a very mediocre type of scoring game for these two teams. And I'm going to go 23-21 Philadelphia.
Wow. That's amazing he just said that,
And it
because I'm
probably
just
is the
sitting here
last
thinking
second kick to win it.
Philadelphia 24-21 is what I was thinking.
Wow.
I'm going with the upset also. I'm taking Philadelphia.
All right. I mean, I listen.
I know the Chiefs are difficult to play.
And I agree
at
with you,
home.
because Philadelphia,
Very
they
tough.
feel like they were robbed in the Super Bowl last year.
Correct.
And I think it doesn't come down to the last series. It doesn't come down to any of that. It doesn't come down to that penalty. It comes down to that field was horrible last year.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it was horrible for
Right.
both teams, but the Chiefs were able to acclimate to it a little bit better than Philadelphia did, and they feel robbed.
I know that Andy Reid is very good against his former team.
Oh, yes. Yes.
But I think this one he might get bit in the butt.
So both
However,
of you guys
there's
like
an
Philadelphia.
interesting stat. See, I'm making up words every week. What did I make up last week? In other words, not to cut you off, but we're talking about Andy Reid. If he wins, he will have the most wins with the Chiefs and the most wins with the Eagles
That's
as a head
right.
coach.
Yeah. Wow.
Wouldn't that be something?
That is
to
something
get
else.
That record for Kansas
He
City
does not
against
get
Against
the
it?
Eagles?
Oh,
I don't think he's going to get
I
it.
don't know. It's a
Wait another week or two there, Andy Reid.
It just would have been so cool, though, if he'd have gotten it
that-
against
that-
his old
that is
team where he
awesome.
has the wins record with that
Man.
as well.
Good
yeah.
luck.
I mean, I gotta say, I like Philadelphia in this as well. I think they do inch this one out. I'm gonna go a little bit higher scoring. I'm gonna say 28-24. I believe is gonna be
I was going to say
28-24.
4.
Bring that over here.
That's
There you
Bring
go.
that over here.
Come on,
Right?
now
We'll post this. We'll
Yes.
actually say a little more about this. Come on in here. This is Angel. She is our resident Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
And we have a wonderful special going, $16.99. You have a choice of soup or salad. Comes with
Come on
turkey,
down.
stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, vegetables, sweet
Where's the
and
dressing?
pumpkin pie.
We'll have dressing too.
We'll have some dressing.
All
here.
right,
Floody
yeah,
has
you
to
guys
cook
make
it.
sure you come on down. Have a good time with the folks down here at Mad Matty's. All right.
Thanks, Angel. I'll come down and
What
see
was
you.
your score prediction?
28-24. I'm going to
28
take
to 24.
Philadelphia in this game. I just think I don't think
So all
Kansas
three
City
of
has
us-
enough star
I
players
just
to
don't
make
think they
that
have
happen. Now, I don't think they have
think
enough playmakers to get this one done this year.
No.
I
And
agree.
they lost to, they lose to the Lions in week 1. I'm telling you, Philadelphia ain't the Lions. Okay. Now the Lions are tough.
The Lions are a tough team.
And before we sign out here tonight, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if you guys heard this or not, or saw or read it. Somebody was talking, they were interviewing Dan Campbell, Lions head coach. And he's known for going for some of those gutsy calls. I think he went for it on 4th down.
Yes,
last
he
week,
did.
like
Yeah,
5
yeah.
times.
Yeah,
They
he
made
did.
4 of them, right? But it's making everybody nervous. And he's like, look, I tell my family, and I'm going to tell this to all the Lions fans, if that's going to make you nervous that I'm aggressive like that, just go invest in some Pampers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go.
And he
Oh,
said
yeah.
that in a radio interview. That is hysterical. But
That
that's
is
Dan
great.
Campbell.
But you know what? The great coaches are always more aggressive. If you look at Bill Parcells, you always get mad at Sims during that Super Bowl run. Go, if you're not throwing 2 interceptions, you're not aggressive enough.
Hey,
You got to
What
be
did
aggressive.
Sims, what did Sims do in that first Super Bowl? 19 of 21, though? Something. Remember, he set the
He
record?
was at 20, 24, 27, 27 and some 24 completions, right? He had 3 incompletions in a game.
Yeah, I thought he was more like 19 of 21. I thought we'll have to look that
It
up. I
was
don't
in
have time this
between.
week.
Yeah, it was somewhere around
it was
there.
somebody. It was
The-
incredible.
The best
years
part, though,
ago.
is the picture they
2 or
use on
3
Sports
incompletions, that was
Illustrated
it.
was actually one of the incompletions.
Oh, you're right.
It
I
was
always
one of
liked
the
Conky.
incompletions.
Conky he was so fun to watch. And Dave
Vietnam
Meggett
flashbacks. On
Oh
that.
yeah, there you go. We're good. We're
Dave
showing the
Meggett.
age.
and Chris Berman on
Oh, yeah,
ESPN.
there you go.
Look at that little Meggett go.
You can't beat that.
Oh, you
Chris
can't, no.
Berman. And Chris is still around.
He's
Man.
still-
I mean,
He
he's
does that
doing his show.
3-minute thing now.
Oh, yeah, he does.
and that's all he does pretty much.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
He's
Chris
awesome.
Berman
at it.
is a legend.
Absolutely.
He is a legend.
Without a doubt.
All right, I'm going to hand it to you, Jesse, for final thoughts, and we'll go to Floody, and then I'll wrap her up.
Listen, guys, I know scoring's been down. Don't get down on the NFL. Listen, have fun
Except
with
for
it.
all the flags.
Yeah, exactly. I know it gets a little trying. Just stay with it. Don't worry. The NFL is going to get this corrected. I know a lot of people have questions. The tush push rule, all this stuff. Go out there on Sunday and have a good time, guys. All right. Enjoy your families over the holiday weekend. Be safe out there. If you want to come down, meet some new friends, new family members, come on down to Mad Matty's, guys.
And be here for Thanksgiving as well.
Thanksgiving, I'll promote a little bit. Francisco's got a great meal planned at 8100 West Sahara on Sahara Boulevard. Come on down, see us. Come on down here on a Thursday night. We'll have fun and everything else. We won't be here next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving to all you and all your loved ones. And we got a Merry Christmas coming up soon.
Absolutely, guys.
And happy Thanksgiving from me as well to all of you and your families. Definitely come on down here to Mad Matty's if you don't feel like cooking. Or if whoever it is that's cooking just isn't that good. But you can come on down here and enjoy a nice meal. I'm hoping I'm going to be back in time. Like I said, I'm going to be in Miami this weekend, and I'm going to try, if I can, to post some sort of a special video up on the Mad Matty's page,
Maybe
live
the bloopers
from Hard Rock Stadium.
I'm sure I'll be in that one. Shittsburg.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to do a bloopers reel yet. If we did a bloopers reel, it would be me knocking over the light,
Oh, that
2
was
weeks
great. That
ago.
was good. That was a good moment.
or the
Okay.
eyebrow falling off.
falling down.
Groucho Marx.
But that'll do it for us this week right here. First and Mad live from Mad Matty's Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Once again, thank you for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Good Roman.
Yeah. Come on. Mood swings as such. Some would say that boy right there is touch. Do we maintain? Nah, not too much. Situation getting too hard to clutch. Yep, it feels like I'm falling and can't get up. I gotta hold my head, man. I can't give up. I realize in life.